Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and happy Friday. Okay, so today's video is a pattern release that was released yesterday. It's the new Itch to Stitch pattern, the Cantabria, I think that's right. Anyway, you guys probably saw it over on Instagram if you follow me over on there, but I just wanted to do a quick little intro video before we get into the meat and potatoes because I filmed that video when I made the dress for the pattern test, not knowing when it would be released. But today is Friday and we have a Love Notions Feature Friday pattern, and I just wanted to give a holler at what that is real quick. Today's pattern, which is $5 today only, is the La Belladonna, which is a wonderful grown-on sleeve knit top. It is one of my, it's kind of like, I mean, it is just a regular t-shirt, but I really enjoy my version of it. I wear it a lot. It's kind of an interesting color, and I would say kind of a beyond basic just because it's not your typical set and sleeve type t-shirt. I love the neckline on it. Really beautiful. Comes with a full bust front if you need that, which I do. Medium with a full bust front, my Love Notion size. But if you use code TKS10, you can get an additional 10% off that sale price. And again, it is $5 today only. So if you're looking for a good palette cleanser, a good quick and easy project that had a big bang in your closet, that is a great pattern to grab today. All right, guys, without further ado, I'm going to send you over to today's pattern review of the newest Itch to Stitch pattern. Enjoy and have a good Friday. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney, and I am here today with the newest Itch to Stitch pattern release, and it is so good. Okay, guys, this is the Cantabria dress. And when this went out into the testing group asking like who was available for you to fill out the form to get into the test, I could not fill out that form fast enough. This dress is so good. The drafting on it is perfection. I cannot wait to wear this in the fall. However, this would make a wonderful warm weather dress as well, depending on the fabric, which we'll talk about those options here in just a second. It is so good. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about her here. So this dress features, it's like a trench dress. So kind of like a trench coat, but without, it's sleeveless and it's just wonderful. It's right above the knee. You've got 10 buttons that go up the front in kind of a double-breasted style. It's got a notched collar on the dress. You've got belt loops and then a little sash that you make with that. Completely faced armholes. The dress is completely lined. It is beautiful on the inside. I will show that to you here in just a minute. And it's perfect for wearing as is, for layering over a turtle. This would be so great layered over a turtleneck. And that's probably how I'll wear this at some point, or with a cardigan or a jacket over it, which you are going to see here in just a minute is how I've styled mine. Hits above the knee. It is just perfection. Let's talk about fabric for it first, because I'll talk about the construction second, because I do want to take it off the mannequin, and that takes a minute because there's so many buttons to show you the insides of it. So let's talk about fabric first really quickly. All right, so this dress can be made in all sorts of things. It can be made in wool, so wool suitings if you wanted to do it that way, like a wool crepe, a wool gabardine, just a worsted suiting would be beautiful because it is fully lined. You don't have to worry about it being scratchy. It can be made in linen. It could be made in cotton, which is what I have used. It could be made in just anything that has a little bit of structure, I think would be beautiful, because you do want to get your nice crisp notched collar on here, really nice and beautiful. And again, it is a fitted-ish, an A-line. It's an A-line skirt. So you want that skirt to have a little bit of body to it to hold that. Okay. So any of those fabrics I think would work beautifully, and I know quite a few of the testers were using some of those options as well. All right, for my fabric, I'm not sure what order you're watching this. I wasn't entirely sure when I'm filming this, when she's releasing the pattern. I never know until like right before. So I don't know if you've seen my Destashify video yet or not. If you haven't, then this is a surprise. I think probably you have, though. In my head, you will have seen the Destashify video already for what I made in August and my September plans. If you have, this is the Destashify fabric. So this is a vintage cotton shirting. It's probably hard to tell, but it's a micro check of a real warm red, chocolate brown, and ivory, which, as you know, those are all colors that are in my fall capsule wardrobe. So you better believe this is going into my fall capsule as well. I just didn't know it yet because this hadn't been released yet. But it's just a cotton shirting. So this is something you would make a men's shirt out of, or a woman's shirt, or a shirt dress. But because it is interfaced in so many spots, and because it is fully lined, you can definitely get away with a more structured dress, even though the fabric is pretty thin. Okay, so that's what I used for that. And then for the lining, I used also from Destashify. It's some of that cotton lawn, that bundle of cotton lawn that I got. You'll see it here in just a second. But that bundle of brown chocolate or chocolate and tan cotton lawns that I got from Destashify, I used one of those for the lining of this dress, and it is absolutely perfect. You do interface a few areas. The whole front panel, so the front bodice and the front panel here of the skirt get completely interfaced, and then your top collar gets completely interfaced as well. So all of this is interfaced, and the skirt portion is as well. Also, there are armhole facings. You'll see that in just a second. Those get fully interfaced too. I used for my interfacing the the Fashion Sewing Supply, their Pro Weft Medium is what I used. I had that in my stash, and it worked a treat. So highly recommend that. I'll link it down below if you're interested. Obviously, I can't link the fabric because it came from Destashify, but again, any cottons would work, any linens, wools. You could do this, because this kind of lends itself tuxedo-ish. You know, it is kind of a trench coat, but I could totally see this in a silk dupioni or a shantung. Or even a taffeta. Oh, that would just be stunning. You could do a crepe back satin and do crepe for everything except for the collar, so like a tuxedo. So the collar and lapel would be shiny. That could be really cool too. All sorts of ideas. So you don't have to just wear this casually. You could do a lot of really great things with it. Heck, if you wanted to, you could even add in more width. Well, you could take the skirt all the way to the ground if you wanted to. Make it a maxi length skirt. That'd be easy. And have more of a like a black tie event if you had something like that to go to. Or you could add in just slash and spread the side skirt panel and the back panels. Rotate your darts out because there's darts here in the back. You could rotate those out and then slash and spread and give yourself a fuller skirt to have it a little bit fuller if you wanted to, and take that to the ground. So many ideas. I've just been being very inspired by this dress. Okay, it comes in the regular size range, and with the full, A through double D cups. As normal, I make the size 8 with the D cup. That just fits me to perfection. And I'm like, I was at the heaviest of my range of fluctuations, but I'm coming back down, thank goodness, a little bit, but it fits me really, really well. It's very, very comfortable. It probably would have been a little snug, a few weeks ago, but it's feeling very comfortable now, and I've got some wiggle room to decrease in inflammation as well. It's got princess seams here at the top, and that kind of corresponds here because you've got a center front panel and then a side panel with the skirt, and then you've got the backs. There are also princess seams here in the back. You probably can't see because of my fabric, and then there's a yoke here in the back. Oh, the yoke is also interfaced. I forgot that. And then there's darts that are here in this back skirt, and then there is a waist seam there. Okay, so there's a notched collar on here, which those could be a little bit tricky to sew, but I just got to tell you, Kenneth's instructions, if you've never sewn an itch to stitch pattern, the drafting is impeccable. It really is. Usually there's a lot of pattern pieces, but that always works out to your benefit in the end. Her instructions are really good. And this was a really fun make. This wasn't just when I made this dress, I was able just to tune out because it's just a simple bodice and then I was just gathering tears on. So this was more of you can watch a movie while you're going. This one was not. This one was, I actually had to pay attention to instructions. It was not a challenge, but it kept my brain engaged the entire time. And every single time I'm making one of these more involved makes, it's always like, okay, yes, I see how that's gonna go. I just really enjoy that about Kenness's patterns. They're with Itch to Stitch. They're some of my favorite to sew, so highly recommend that. Buttons. I used buttons from my stash. Maybe 2 years ago now, I was at my in-laws. They live right next to, their town is 10 minutes away from Hamilton, Missouri, which is where Missouri Star Quilt is, for those of you that are quilters. Oh, Gidget. And if you've never heard of Missouri Star Quilt, it's a huge online quilt shop, but they've turned the entire downtown of Hamilton, Missouri, which is where J.C. Penney is from, of J.C. Penney's, turned the whole downtown into a quilt fabric notions town. It's Quilt Town. I think those billboards even say Quilt Town, USA. Anyway, it's really fun to pop around in there because all these old storefronts have been turned into, like, this shop is all the novelty prints. This shop is the more modern, fabrics. This shop is the solids. This old shop has been turned into the licensed fabrics. Here's the holiday one. It's really cool. Then there's a shop all just for all the quilting notions and stuff like that. It's really cool to see. But anyway, there's a couple of other little shops that have popped up around there because obviously there's a lot of quilters that pop into that town. And one of those is a flea market. And I was in there and she had so many buttons. And I just grabbed sacks of buttons and she gave me a great price on them. And this was one of the sacks of buttons. They're just like a plastic faux tortoise shell kind of type or horns kind of button, but they are plastic. Anyway, but a nice little button. And I think it works really, really well on the front of this dress. Okay, let me take her off the mannequin and I will show you her insides. Okay, so the dress goes on kind of like a coat, or like a robe. You put it on and then you do have to do up all these 10 buttons, which is a little laborious. But look at the inside of this dress, folks. So there's the inside yoke. I mentioned there is a yoke. The armholes have facings that are sewn to the lining and then are interfaced, which finish off the armholes beautifully. The line, it's fully lined. Now the lining here at the bottom is free. So nothing's getting caught up weird. So there's two different, you can get up and into the lining there. So I did go ahead and serge my seam allowances just so that things, didn't fray and everything stayed nice and neat. But she has things tacked in place, so this lining isn't going anywhere. Again, this is the cotton lawn and one of the chocolate browns that I got from Distashify as well, which works perfect as a lining. I love cotton lawn as dress lining. It's one of my favorites. And I don't know, I feel like this is comfortable because it is cotton, but so it's not going to be too hot. Because sometimes fall, especially where I live, is a lot warmer than what you want it to be. Like you're ready to wear fall clothes, but it's 800 degrees outside. Anyway, this is like a perfect answer to that. I feel like I can wear this in the warmer fall time, sleeveless. I can layer my Metro Blazer over it, and I think my white Metro Blazer would look just as good over this as my red one. I feel like my other one, because it's a plaid as well, that's a little more print mixing than I'm comfortable doing, but I think it would probably work too, if that was something you were into. So the Metro Blazer is perfect, any kind of cardigan. When it starts to get cooler, you could pair tights, tall boots, put a turtleneck on underneath it, and you're ready to go. I also think this pattern is great because you could just as easily make it up in a linen and wear it all, linen, line it with a thin cotton lawn, wear it all summer long, as well as you could make it in a wool suiting, line it in a Bimberg if you wanted to, rayon or even a China silk, and then you've got a beautiful dress that you could wear to the office or whatever all winter long. Layer it over all sorts of things and have a really beautiful dress for that as well. So this is surprisingly versatile. But again, I just could not get on that form to test this pattern quick enough. I just think it's beautiful. It really sings to my classic aesthetic. And let's talk about the fact that it's double-breasted. A lot of people say when you're large-busted, you should never wear double-breasted jackets. Okay, whatever. I get the golden rule and how proportion works and all that, but I honestly think that the buttons going down the front create an elongating effect. So it gives you a vertical line to kind of follow, which makes you look a little bit taller and thinner. So, and I also appreciate the buttons start just like kind of right under the bust a little, or like right at the bust. So you don't have anything on the nipples. Anyway, it works out beautiful. Oh, alterations. I shortened the bodice 1 inch and I shortened the skirt 1 inch. That is what at the lengthen and shorten lines on both. I do that for all itch to stitch patterns. They fit me great out of the gate with just those little adjustments. So size 8 with the D cup, and then shortened 1 inch at the bodice and 1 inch at the skirt, and that's all I had to do. Beautiful pattern. It is on release sale for the next week, so I think 20% off. So if this is one you would like to grab, I have the pattern link down below, and yeah, you can go grab yourself a, I think it's Cantabria. I think that's how you pronounce that, dress of your own. So if you're ready for something kind of fun and a little different sewing, then I highly recommend. Okay, guys, that is all I have for today. I hope you get some sewing in, and I will see you next time.